Alright guys, I thought I would do a little post right here. My audio was really bad on this trip, so I decided, well, instead of scrapping the trip, as you guys know, it's been hard to get out there and make a video, so when I make a video I need to go ahead and post it. And anyway, we're looking right here. I seen a little action on the water there when I pulled into this little hole here. Just some little movement on the edge. I didn't see the fish, but as I waited I did see the fish a little bit, so I just popped it in front of his face and there he was. Boy, he nailed it. But anyway, thanks you guys for coming out, and you didn't miss a whole lot with the ambient sounds. If you can see them weeds whipping it up, it was really blowing. When I got home I checked the nearest tower, and it was showing anywhere from 23 to 25 miles an hour out of the north. And man, it was just getting it. So I decided to go to a marsh that has a lot of these little cuts. There's little islands and stuff where you kind of can go from little hole to little hole. And the tide was up a little bit that day, but we had a lot of sun, so that helped. And so anyway, we hooked onto this guy. Didn't take me too long to get the first feller to get on here, but it was a good day all in all, considering the conditions we were out there working with. But I have learned that it's good to pick your day if you can, because man, you get out there in some super strong winds, and if you don't have the sun, you really have a hard time. But this was a pretty chunky guy right here. I'm not sure if we'll be able to see the length on him from this angle, but if I remember right, he was about 22 inches. But yeah, the perfect scenario is if you can have a low tide and a lot of sun and very low wind. So if you have those three, you're set up for a very good day in the marsh. Now let's see what we got here. It's been a few days since the trip, so I'm watching it like if I'm watching it with you guys again, because I know we must have something there, because I wouldn't be stalking. Yeah, up on the top to the right, I think we'll see him come into frame here in a second. If I remember, I saw this guy pretty good. Yeah, you see him working along the bank there? Beautiful. I love it when you see a fish like that, so pretty in the water. And they were very aggressive that day. They like you saw, I just barely popped it in front of him, and there was not a lot of action. It just was falling, and he nailed it. And that happened to all the fish that day. They just they went for it, and they weren't looking up. I've found that that's a big deal when you're sight casting. Certain days when they're not feeding very good, they're just looking up. They're not really hunting around on the ground for something to eat, and it's hard to sneak up on them. But this day they were really aggressive, so that helped. You know, I had to have some kind of pluses because of all the negatives with the high tide and the lot of wind. But I mean, it wasn't extremely high. I'm looking at the edge of the bank there, and it just was a little higher than the trip before, the one you've seen. And So, but that's a good fish right there too. I think he was about the same size as that first one. But I don't know what I was pointing at. I think I was just telling you that's what I saw when I come around the corner there. And it just gets your heart pumping whenever you see that rascal like that. Especially on a day like this where you get most of what you see. Some days you see them like that and you pitch and they take off the other way. They don't want no part of it. But yeah, just another pretty fish. We're fishing with that same lure there, the number 24 from H&H, with my same old jig that I fished with most all last summer. That rascal done turned black. It originally was that cadmium plated, but anyway, it's been with me. I'm gonna hate to lose it. I hope I don't, but man, that thing has caught a lot of fish. All right, let's see here. I think this is my heartbreaking clip here. I've debated whether I should put it in here, but I pulled up to this little cut here and I seen him. I should have threw right there, but you know, in that wind you really have a hard time holding on. You got to kind of keep putting your paddle down and holding yourself in place. And then I didn't know where he went, and I wasn't real familiar, well, not even real familiar, I wasn't familiar at all with I'm a little further ahead than originally thought. There was a little gut going up there that I spent a lot of time at. Right here I actually could see him when I was up there, and I was just trying to get it right in front of his face. But I had spent a lot of time before this clip and just waiting for him to come to me, and he didn't, so I had to paddle up about 10 feet and turn around to this little end. It didn't go anywhere. I didn't know if it went on up or not, but yeah, that happened. And boy, he's a big one, and look at that. Oh man, you want to talk about heartbreak? Because I mean, he gave it them good pulls and whatnot, but I had my drag set pretty tight, so we just moved on to the next one there. Now this is a pretty good clip if I remember. I seen something along that edge, wasn't sure if it was a fish, redfish. I thought it might be a mullet or possibly a redfish, and then I looked down here and you'll see in a second we see him coming right under the front of the board. Seen the mud stir, there he is in the water. I just drop it straight down like a cane pole catch. He was looking down, he wasn't looking at me at all. You know, that's what I say today, they weren't looking up. I tell you, it's just amazing how they just change their MO, their mode of operation from day to day. Because man, any other day that fish would have been looking straight up at me, and he would have, no way, he'd have been gone. But no, that was a amazing. I love it whenever you just, you know, look down and see a guy like that and drop it down. I can remember the very first one that I caught like that. I thought that was such a rare thing, because it was rare. I'd never experienced that before. I actually hooked this one on the side of the head. If you see that, he missed his mouth, but he was running for it. And yeah, I thought that was so special. But man, I've caught so many like that. They're just not afraid of that board like they are a big boat. Even the kayak, I caught lots of them beside my kayak, but you don't catch them beside a big boat that often. it sticks down in the water a lot more, and they know something's up. But these kayaks and these boards are a lot better for sneaking up on them. But anyway, guys, that was my number 3. So even though this video is not very long, I did get a limit of fish, and there was one right there bust off. And then I was talking about this little hole. It's in my trail, and every time I come up here, I always think this place goes somewhere because it's so wide, but it just goes right there and it ends. But anyway, I think I ended up calling it right here, so I think we'll just call the video right here. And I do thank y'all for putting up with my post audio, but on the next one, maybe we'll do better. All right, God bless. See you next time.